and welcome back to the Beauty Lab podcast. I am your host, Monina, and my co-host, Velia. Today we're going to talk about something really fun that we actually got to do. We did a little field trip, and we're going to explain to you all the cool things we got to experience on that trip.
Welcome to the Beauty Lab podcast, your drive time resource for all things beauty, health, and wellness. We're your hosts and favorite beauty nerds, Monina and Velia.
Join us as we debunk myths, explore the latest trends, and dive deep into the science behind your favorite products. We'll interview industry experts and answer your burning beauty questions in 30 minutes or less. So the trip that I'm talking about was to an amazing spa that we were introduced to from another friend. This was located in the Danville area. The owner we met was very awesome. She showed us everything. Her name is Jessie, and formerly she was a runner and an athlete, but her background is actually she's a scientist and an inventor. And when she was an athlete, she explained to us that she used to do tons of ice baths. So for those of you who don't know what that means, it's basically what everyone does now for cold plunges. So really, really cold, as you can imagine, ice baths, throwing in the ice and literally sitting in it.
No, thank you.
As you can tell, Velia does not want to do that ever.
No.
I like them, but I did learn a lot that there is a difference between what she has to offer in the ice bath. But going back to the ice bath, so she did like the results from it to help her recover so she can keep running, but she did not like the process. Like I said, you had to go into an ice bath, and she explained to us that to get the benefits, you actually have to be in the ice bath for 15 to 20 minutes in order for your body to reach a certain temperature for the healing process to happen. And she's like, no way. And then, of course, you can imagine it's wet because you're going into the water, so it's quite uncomfortable. I do admit it is very, very uncomfortable. You almost have to have a mindset before you go in. Mm-hmm. But what she mentioned, though, is if you are doing cold plunges or ice baths, you actually have to make sure you're maintaining that cold level at a consistent level. So if you're doing ice baths, you actually have to swap out the ice. So you can imagine you're having, that's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
Right? And you got to be in there, like I said, 15 to 20 minutes. Well, then she was introduced to a new concept, which was called a whole body cryo chamber. And you walk into the chamber, your head sticks out, and the rest of your body's in the chamber, and they release nitrogen. And nitrogen is what causes the cold. But because it's nitrogen and it's not wet, it's actually much more comfortable.
Yes.
And it's only 3 minutes.
Much better.
As opposed to
much better.
15 to 20. So I think it was the only reason Velia even agreed to take this field trip. But so many great benefits to it. Well, anyways, Jessie then decided this was an amazing thing to offer. She loved it. She saw the benefits to it. So then she opened up her spa, which is called Arctic Restore in the Danville area. So if you're in that area, definitely give her place a look at. It's amazing. I'm definitely going to go back. And then she also told us that I thought was really interesting is that whole body cryo, even though it's not that popular here yet, it's very, very popular and well known in Europe. Whole body cryo is actually standard in Europe for localized inflammation to help relieve inflammation. That you can actually localize it. But the whole body cryo is a concept that's widely accepted in Europe. And in fact, she said it actually is covered by insurance. So wouldn't that be nice?
Yes, that would be very nice.
Yeah, so we both went in there, and I don't know if you've looked at our Instagram, but we did do a quick little video on there. So go check that out in our little get up, little robes and get up. But why don't you tell them a little bit about our whole experience?
Yeah, so if you're listening to this, that's perfectly fine. But I do recommend that you watch on YouTube if you can, because we're going to be putting up a lot of videos of the actual experience as we talk about it. Okay, so you get to Arctic Restore, and it's really beautiful on the outside, and you walk in, and the lobby is like calm and serene, and it smells like luxury candles. And there's comfy couches and a retail display with like skincare and soap and those luxury candles.
Yeah.
And it feels really peaceful but welcoming, right? Didn't you feel that? Like welcoming, but you know, sometimes you walk into like somewhere and you're like, oh, it's so quiet, I can't talk over a whisper. But it was like very welcoming.
It was welcoming, and I liked too how you felt like it wasn't just a foo-foo little spa. You knew you were going to be getting a lot of results and therapy. You can almost kind of tell the vibe that she does. She works with a lot of athletes to help with recovery and things like that. So yeah, it felt like it was definitely more than just a little foo-foo spa experience that we were going to be getting that day.
Yeah, and then just beyond the front desk, you can see the full body cryo machine and all the zero gravity chairs. And there's like so many cool things to look at. So you sit down, you consult with Jessie, and then she says, okay, go change. And we change into these long robes, and we put on knee-high socks and clogs and gloves. And you have to take all your jewelry off. And then it's to the cryo chamber. And the cryo chamber was so cool. When she opens it up, there's like this big old gust of freezing cold air that comes out. And it's just like a really cool thing to see. And then you get naked.
It's actually an actual chamber. Like you actually walk into it.
Yeah, you step into it, you stand up, and then it fills all around you with like freezing cold air
and the nitrogen.
From the nitrogen. So you do drop your robe, you're in there, you're naked in there. But it's only 3 minutes, and those 3 minutes actually go by like really fast.
Yeah, it did, because she's actually standing outside, outside, and because your head's above the chamber, and she's talking to you, she's kind of walking you through, you know, telling you to breathe or focus on this or that. And and then all of a sudden she's like, 30 seconds. I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm almost done.
Even I said, oh, that's it. Yeah, from the outside, it looks like your head is like in a cauldron.
Yeah,
it's actually like really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So picture like dry ice.
Right.
You know, like coming up above your, like coming through the chamber, and it's all around you. It was really cool.
Yeah. And so, Monina, do you want to explain some of the benefits of the cryo chamber, of the full body cryo?
The full body cryo, yeah. So actually the cryo chamber, I wasn't that not worried, but you know, I've done cold plunges. So I'm like, well, this has got to be way easier. And I mean, when she first like turns it up, it's cold. I'm not gonna lie, it is very, very cold. But what I loved about it was all the benefits. So what she explained was some of the benefits was it reduces inflammation, obviously. It's going to increase healing and repair. You're going to have a lot more downtime if you're an athlete, obviously. And that's why she says a lot of people come in there that are athletes so that they can keep going and working out, right? And she also said it increases collagen. So it's also beneficial for your face, your skin, your hair, your nails. And it really does boost your mood and your energy. So what she explained was during the session, what happens is because it's so cold, and this is a natural thing that occurs, like if you're freezing, what happens is all the blood rushes to the core, because your core is, at that point, your body's smart. It needs to protect your core organs, right? So like if you've ever gone skiing and stuff like that, what's the first thing that gets super cold? Is your extremities, right? So all the blood rushes to the core, and then after that, when you step out, you feel tingly. Remember how you felt tingly? And that's because the blood is returning to the extremities, but that blood is now newly released, cleaner blood with enriched oxygen, nutrients, and enzymes. So that's what then causes that whole healing process. Because to battle the cold, the body increases your metabolism, so you also create heat, and she says that also helps burn fat and then increases energy. So it was a very cool experience when you walked out.
Yeah,
for sure.
When you walked out, you're kind of like, I'm cold, but I feel like I'm floating.
Yeah.
Like I felt like it almost felt kind of a little bit euphoric.
Yeah, yes,
and it was,
exactly.
You're so relaxed. Like you were just like shivering 2 seconds ago, but then you're like, like it is so relaxing. Yeah. Which is awesome, because like the next thing that we did was even more relaxing. So it was like we got to fun little head start on the relaxation. And the next thing that we did was the zero gravity chair plus the red light therapy or multi-wave therapy.
Multi-wave,
facial mask. And so that just felt like absolutely incredible coming from the cryo. And then you lay down on these chairs. Well, you sit down on the chairs and then they recline, so your feet are up and you're wearing these compression boots. And the boots, they squeeze your legs like in a pattern, and then they start from the top and squeeze back down. And you're listening to music at like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was at like the right megahertz for like relaxing your brain too.
To get your brain in the right wavelength.
Yeah.
Kind of like, when you're in sleep mode as opposed to awake mode, there's an actual wavelength, and I can't remember what she said.
But she does explain it.
Yeah.
And we were talking for a few minutes, and then as soon as it got a little bit quiet, Monina and I were both like we just completely fell asleep. And she was taking our stuff off, and she's like, "You guys aren't moving," and we're like, we don't want to wake up, Mommy.
Yeah, because it was cool. Like these zero gravity chair, she says the reason you do that with the compression boots is because when you're tilted that certain way with your legs up, it doesn't put any pressure on your lower back.
Right. So people with sciatica can really benefit from the zero gravity chair.
Right. So it reduces the compression, reduces swelling, inflammation. It actually, she says, it increases your flexibility, and it actually prevents onset muscle soreness. So if you just did a long workout, this would be perfect. Or if you've been on your feet all day, you know how some people get swollen legs and feet. This would definitely, I know, right? Wouldn't that be a great thing to go home to?
Yes.
Yes,
it would.
And the compression almost gives me the feeling of like a lymphatic drainage almost happening, because it's just, it starts at the bottom of your toes and it compresses and keeps moving up. Because the boots go from your feet up to all the way up your thighs. Yeah. So you don't look pretty, but
yeah.
But you're relaxed.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Okay, and then while we were in it, now these are all services that you can do. You could just pick and choose, or you can spend the whole day there, basically. She does have membership packages, what I think is so brilliant, or she does bundles, which is kind of what we did. So during the zero gravity, she actually then put on, it's not a normal mask, like when we say facial mask. It's more of because it's a multi-wave light facial. So she's not doing a normal facial. They look like
it's like a machine. Like
when you open up, imagine a trifold or something, right? You open it up and it covers your whole face. One part of the fold covers your face, and then there's two more that covers the sides of your face. So your whole face is covered. And then she turns on the light, and it's a multi-wave. So amber light waves, red light waves, infrared light. And the combination of these lights helps to stimulate that collagen production in your skin, which is what we're always looking for, right? It decreases the inflammation and then also enhances blood flow. And when you enhance blood flow and increase microcirculation in the skin, you're bringing nutrients and blood flow throughout the face, and which is very beneficial. So she put that on. I think that was on the entire time.
Yes.
So we're reclined with these boots, and then we've got the multi-wave facial machine on our faces. And I'm actually curious to watch those videos again.
Right?
I want to see what we actually look like.
Yeah, we look like we were in heaven. That's what we look like, because we were.
Did not want to get up after that at all.
Not at all. But there are still a few more services that we had to try. So after the zero gravity chair and multi-wave facial, we then did a 30-minute infrared sauna. And the sauna rooms are so beautiful and clean, and it was just a really pretty sauna. I've actually never been in a sauna that pretty before.
Yeah, and it's a personal sauna, because it has its own room. So I think she has 2 or 3 rooms that you go into, and it's nothing but a sauna, and you just step into it. Yeah.
Right, and there's plenty of towels. It's private.
Water.
She gives you water to stay hydrated. Yep. And then there's a TV in each sauna, which I was like, the whole time I was thinking, how does this TV not melt? Like, that was my thought. I didn't even turn it on.
I didn't either. Because I'm like, I don't even know how to turn this on, but it's cool. It's like there.
It was actually pretty easy. Like it was all touch screen, and you can stream any service. There's I think there was Netflix and Hulu and all those things.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I didn't turn it on though.
I didn't need it.
Or I didn't.
Yeah.
Watch TV or anything, but it was.
But you can.
Yeah.
Because you're in there for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
30 minutes. Yep.
But yeah, that felt great. Of course, we all know the benefits of a hot sauna. So that's what we did next. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we then went and did two totally different services. I went into another room, and what was cool was, again, it was its own room. And this one was for the PEMF, mm-hmm. which stands for pulsating electromagnetic field. And it's a bed. There was a bed in there, but what it is it's like a mat mm-hmm. that she lays out. And in the mats, it was explained to me, it has coils inside it's like a pad, basically. So the coils in the pad generate the electromagnetic current, which then stimulates and penetrates throughout the whole body. So she says it actually penetrates into the bones, the muscles, the tendons, your organs, and it's stimulating energy throughout the body. So you don't really feel anything. And then she put on it looks like, what are those things that the virtual,
it does look like a virtual reality mask.
Reality mask, like over my eyes. And what that was like pulsating lights in a certain pattern. And it was just to get the whole body and your mind to just give in, basically. So it's just making you it's kind of the opposite of the sensory deprivation chambers, where people float. This was like the light was it was in a certain pattern, and it was just getting you to not think about anything, mm-hmm. but just to relax. It was like you just had to give into it. So it was very interesting because I didn't really feel anything, but afterwards I felt like I was floating. So but what's interesting about the PEMF is that it helps to restore balance and promotes healing. And how it does that is our bodies actually possess magnetic frequencies, right? But we're constantly bombarded by disruptors, by being constantly exposed to EMFs, which are usually emitted by our phones, our cell phones, our computers, right? So that's disrupting our magnetic frequency in our body, which is why we can't sleep or we have pain, things like that, because we're out of balance. So these EMFs can affect our DNA expressions, which causes all kinds of issues, like I said, like not being able to sleep, not being able to heal, inflammation, all that kind of stuff. So this actually helps to restore that balance in your body. And some benefits are improved depression, improves relaxation, and enhances physical performance. So again, this is something for those athletes as well. It helps you to calm down, but then allows your whole body to just start regenerate and heal from the inside out. So
that is so cool.
That's very interesting. I know EMFs are not good for us, and that's why you shouldn't sleep with your earbuds in your ears.
Yes.
So if you do that and your body is just out of whack, this is probably something you would want to consider doing, especially if you work in front of the computer all day long and then you've got earbuds all day long. I can just imagine like the havoc our poor bodies are going through, right?
Yeah.
Every single day.
Oh my gosh. Well, before I talk about what service I had, I wanted to just take a second, and if you're enjoying this episode, please like, share, subscribe, download, all the things. We appreciate you coming and listening to us and watching us every week. And if you know anybody in the Bay Area in California that could use these services if they struggle with chronic pain and inflammation, or if they're just an athlete who's looking to increase their performance and recovery time, Arctic Restore, I believe it's in Alamo, Danville, Alamo, California. Cannot recommend them enough. And Jessie is an absolute wizard. So
yeah, you tell her what your ailments are, and she'll create a protocol for you. And if it makes sense for you to come back over and over again, you might want to consider the membership, because it does.
Yes,
it's pretty affordable.
It is extremely affordable. If we lived closer, we would be.
I would be there every month.
too.
Every month.
I know. So the service that I had next was called the Balancer Pro Lymphatic Massage. And so what I did was I laid down into this suit that covered my body from my toes all the way up to like right at the very top of my abdomen. And the whole thing inflates like a balloon, almost like a blood pressure cuff.
Yes, that's what it looked like. Yeah.
And then it squeezes down, and it's, basically very similar to the boots that we used in the zero gravity.
The compression boots.
The compression boots, except this is like compressing like where your lymph nodes are. And it's for inflammation. Some people even say that they notice a difference in like their mass, like their body mass, not necessarily like you've lost weight, but you look smaller afterwards, because it's getting rid of all the puffiness and the toxins, and it really is very deflating.
That's a good way of putting it.
And it gets rid of water retention, and I did notice that. I actually totally noticed that. So that was actually a super cool process that I had never experienced before and totally needed. Didn't know I needed it until that day.
Well, also because remember, our lymphatic system, the only way to make it work is by movement.
Yes.
And the way that the compression works from top to bottom is it's helping to drain it. So all the toxins and everything is getting released in your body. So I can see why you would look like you've almost like lost some mass, especially from the puffiness. I think a lot of us just have so much puffiness throughout our body because it's of the inflammation, so.
And it could actually help your digestive system as well, because it's kind of just squeezing everything down,
Like, keep squeezing.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel like a tube of toothpaste.
Yeah, right. You kind of do.
Yeah. So, and that was cool. So she actually gave us 2 totally different services because she wanted us to be able to experience everything that they had to offer there. And then there's so many more. Obviously, we couldn't do it all in one day. We may have to just go back and do.
That wouldn't be the worst thing ever.
Do the rest of them, we'll do a second trip and come back and tell you guys about that experience.
So the very last service that we had done was localized cryotherapy. So this is where Jessie asks you, there's a consultation, like, where do you feel your pain? And funny enough, Monina and I both were like, our left shoulders were both messed up.
Yep.
And so she shoots this gun of like freezing cold air stream.
It's nitrogen again.
It's nitrogen at your inflammation point. And she's in one hand, and then in the other hand she's holding a thermometer against your skin to make sure that your skin doesn't get too cold, because it can actually burn your skin if it does get too cold,
like frostbite or something.
Exactly. That was immediate results.
I mean, you touch it and it's really cold, but when she's doing it on you, it feels cold at first, but then it's almost like you get used to it. But what I loved was, she had that cool thermometer, like she was just shooting it at the area to make sure the temperature didn't go too low, because it has to be at a certain temperature in order to create that healing process to begin. But I could have just sat there like all day and had her like hit all the different points.
Well, and when I was watching Monina have hers done, I could see like her shoulder was kind of like shrugged in the beginning, and then you could see it like release, and that was really cool.
She actually took a picture of a before and after, and side by side, and actually in the picture, I totally forgot about this, in the picture, my left shoulder looks more not puffy, but it almost looks like inflamed, and it almost looked like it was sticking out, that part of my shoulder. And then the after picture, they looked the same. Both shoulders looked the same. It was amazing. Amazing.
So after all of these treatments, what I took away from it, what I experienced, well, even immediately we talked about feeling like euphoric and obviously super relaxed, but the longer effects, because I was feeling effects for days, like after this. A few weeks prior to going, I was sick, and I was just kind of having this lingering, you know, chest congestion and stuff like that. I wasn't still sick, but I was not fully better. And within 2 days after this spa day that we had, I was like 100% better. Like I felt like completely back to normal. And I had been kind of holding on to that lingering, you know, so those symptoms for at least a week and a half before this. My puffiness in my whole body was gone. My face looked younger and brighter and less tense. My body aches were, I'm going to say, to be completely fair, 85 to 90% better. I mean, I still stand all day and use, you know.
I mean, when you go, nothing is a one and done.
Of course.
Obviously. But we did sleep better that night before, and she did say that.
Oh, yeah. That was the other thing. I slept so well that night, and I noticed going into it versus coming out of it, my word recall was better. Like cognitively, I was like more sharp and alert and clear-headed. And so,
I mean, and
that was nice.
It's kind of like all these great things, but it was fleeting because it was just a one. But even the one, you got benefits. But if you want long-term benefits, obviously, that's why I would like to try and get, even if it's just once a quarter, I wouldn't mind going there and doing all of these things again, just to give your body that little bit of boost, right? And just to give that, anything to help our bodies heal, right? From the inside out, it always helps. But,
what were some of your like longer lasting effects?
Pretty much the same thing you said, mainly the inflammation. I just feel like all of my ailments tie back to inflammation, whether it's my like headaches, neck ache, shoulder ache, I mean lower back. I mean, we're on our feet all day long, and then leaning over in a weird position all day long. Oh, my shoulder, I feel like I'm constantly trying to battle like possibly getting frozen shoulder, and I've been fine. Actually, I've been fine since then. I've been fine. I'd love to go back and have her localize that as well. It was just, when we left, I felt like we were floating. You know, just our mind was clearer. It was like your mood, you do get a mood boost. You know, and you don't feel as stressed. You don't feel, you know, as wired, I guess is the word. Because then we're also drinking coffee, you know, the caffeine, the EMFs, like everything, right? I think because of the EMF, maybe that's why I slept so well that night too. Just helped to calm my whole entire body, which is so cool that it does penetrate into your organs, your bones, your muscles, everything. That's definitely something I want to do again. So, and it was a while ago too that we went back, so we're still trying to remember like all the benefits from it, but man, the experience was amazing. I won't ever forget that. That's for sure.
Well, thank you all again for coming and hanging out with us. And again, this is Arctic Restore in Danville, Alamo, California. Ask for Jessie. She is amazing. Tell her that we sent you. We will link a coupon code in the show notes for our listeners. She was gracious enough to give us a coupon code. So check the show notes for the coupon code. And thank you again for hanging out with us. I'm Velia.
I'm Monina.
And until next time, keep experimenting with your beauty routine.
See it, all right. All right, here we go.
Okay, hold on though.
Okay. Welcome back to the Beauty Lab podcast. I'm your co-host.
It's been a hot freaking minute since we've done this.
All right, start again. Take 2. All right.
Don't put that in, Jen.
No bloopers with the mid-trip.
Don't do us dirty like that.